What's up, everybody? Welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. Brian and I are going to have a great show for you this Tuesday. Get you ready for the betting week. Brian, it's good to see you, buddy. How we doing? I think you're on mute, buddy.
Nice start to the show there by me.
There we go. How we doing, man?
I'm good. My Hawks are in the East Finals for the second time in my lifetime. Hopefully getting to the NBA Finals for the first time in my existence. I'm good to go, brother. How are you?
Man, I'm good. I can't wait to see the start of that series tomorrow. The Hawks have been monstrous. Obviously, the Bucks won one hell of a series to get there. It's going to be fun. We're going to break those things down. Everybody, welcome in A to Z Sports Picks. I'm Alan Bell, CBS Sportsline, alongside of Brian Edwards of VegasInsider.com. A to Z Sports Picks is brought to you every Tuesday and Friday by BetMGM. It's the king of sports books. Everyone make sure to download that BetMGM app. If you haven't, do it now. And if you use promo code A to Z 100, all right? And today, if you bet $1 money line on either NBA team, okay, you could take either one, the Suns or the Clippers. If either of those teams hit a 3 in the game, you get $100 in free bets. The easiest bet you're going to make all day. I assure you, I've done it. I've used it. It's fantastic. That's promo code A to Z 100, and that's BetMGM, the king of sports books. So visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 21 years or older. Must be present in the state of Tennessee. For gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. So all that said, Brian, it's good to see you, buddy. Let's just jump right into it, man. We got two monster days in the NBA tonight. We've got the Clippers at the Suns, game 2. Suns lead that series 1-0. It appears that the Suns are just never going to lose a game ever, okay? They've won 8 straight. They've covered 8 straight, all of them by 6 points or more in their wins. So tonight we've got the Suns, I believe, already down to 4.5. It's been bouncing around 5, 4.5, maybe even 4, a total of around 223. What are you seeing out of that game tonight, Brian?
Yeah, I was kicking myself this morning when I saw the line movement to 5 at a lot of places and even 4.5 at a few. And right now it looks like all of them are at 4.5 except for one that I'm seeing on Vegas Insider's odds. Our friends at BetMGM have Phoenix at 4.5 with a total of 222.5. I know I'm playing with fire going against Phoenix here, but I like how the Clippers played in game 1. They were down 2 there with 12, 14 seconds. They had the inbounds play, and Booker got the dunk. Clippers missed. They foul, 2 free throws, and they cover. But I'm going to go with the Clippers here. They had won, obviously, 4 in a row going into that game 1, dating back to the Utah series, and covered 4 in a row. Now, that doesn't have the longevity of Phoenix's role, but the Clippers are definitely playing good ball. Terrence Mann out of FSU has really stepped up with Kawhi out, and he had a huge shot the other day to cut it to 2 with 45 seconds or so left. And so I like the Clippers. Now, for money management purposes, I'm going to be on the over for a little bit more. Now, the over has gone up a touch on us for this one. I got it I got it at 223.5, and it's down to 222.5. So I got it too early. But the over's on a 5-1 run for the Clippers in their last 6 combined scores of 228, 238, 222, which would have been an under here, 230, 250, and 234. But, the only one of their last 6 games that would have been an under with this number was when it hit 222, and that's just by a half point. We had 234 in game 1, 120-114 final for Phoenix, and the over's on a 4-2 run for the Suns. Those combined scores, 234, 243, and then 218 and 221 are on the low side, and 227. So I'm going to go the over in the Clippers, a little bit more on the over.
Yeah, I'm going to go the opposite route. And, again, I see where you're going with it. Especially on the total. I think I ride with you on that. But, for the Suns, look, they've won 8 straight. They've covered 8 straight. The Clippers have started every series down 0-2. Again, and not that, that part really matters all that much, but I mean, it is a historical, and it's just hard for me to get off the Suns here. It really is, because they haven't given me a reason to stop betting them. It's been profitable. And again, if I'm going to take the Suns, on the spread 4.5. And if I lose, I lose. But looking at all the money that they've made me, over the last 8 games or so, it's worth it to me to keep going. Now, another interesting note about this is, and I don't know how much further below, 4.5 we're going to get, but we're getting to an area where the Suns money line becomes a little more affordable, right? So I could see, riding with that, again, dependent on the price that you're going to get, but 4.5, on a spread, your money line price is going to be a lot better than what you're going to get at 6. So I don't know if you have that handy, but yeah, I mean yeah.
Our friends at BetMGM have the money line at minus 185, which appears to be one of the cheaper ones out there. I see one book is at minus 182, but BetMGM's got the second cheapest money line price, and maybe it could come down a little more with the way it's been trending with the line down to 4.5, which I'm sure when you woke up today, rather than seeing it 5.5, 6 yesterday and saw 4.5, that made an even easier decision for you on Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, it definitely did. I mean, it was 6 as of last night at like 11 o'clock, right? Like I was kind of going over some notes for today's show, and it's dropped that far. So, yeah, I'm going to ride with the Suns here, 4.5 on the spread. But again, Suns money line might not be bad in a parlay today, which I might play. I've got another pick coming, as obviously we both do in the next segment. But, yeah, now looking at Wednesday, tomorrow. So we got game 1, Hawks at the Bucks. Bucks are, I believe, a 7-point favorite. That's where it was, just a couple hours ago, I believe. I don't think I've seen any movement on that. Total of 226.5. Obviously, yeah, game 1. Brian, your Hawks are in it, man. What do you expect? Or would you see any, fatigue from either of these teams? They both had to battle the game 7s to get here. What are your thoughts? Hey, you're on mute.
Twice. I'm not going to do it 3 times in the same show. So first off, our friends at BetMGM have it at Milwaukee minus 7, 226.5 with the Hawks plus 250 on the money line. So Brooklyn and Milwaukee played late Saturday night, an overtime game, and then Atlanta played Sunday night. So Milwaukee's got the extra day of rest, but the Hawks were accustomed to playing every other day in the East semifinals, and they got Monday and today off. So I really don't think that that fatigue's going to be much of a factor here. Now, what might be a factor is Bogdanovic's knee. He was only able to go, I think it was 21 or 22 minutes in Game 7, and it was similar numbers in Game 6. It's not that injury that made him miss like a 6 or 7 week stretch early in the season. It's something different, and I think I think he's going to be okay, but I don't know that he'll be 100% really the rest of the playoffs. But, I mean, he was pretty effective when he played the other night. And Herter gets the increased minutes, which was a great thing on Sunday. And, man, like I really just don't even think the Hawks played that great. I mean, Trae Young was 5 of 23 from the field. He had 6 turnovers. I mean, he ended up scoring 10 of his 21 points in the last 6.5 minutes at crunch time, which was huge. But and that shows you that even on an off night, this guy is a superstar, and he's going to be there for you at money time in a Game 7. And yesterday I saw was the 3-year anniversary of the Hawks drafting Young and Herter. So those guys have come a long way. I mean, this should really be Herter's rookie year because he left after 2 years at Maryland, and Young was one and done. So this should be his senior year at Oklahoma, and these guys are already leading this team to the East Finals. So now you look at the series price, and shame on me for not looking on the BetMGM app to get that before this show, but most books are minus 450 to minus 500 on Milwaukee. Now, I have a very small 100-1 ticket on the Hawks to win it all, so I'm not looking to like play them for the series. But for those that don't have a interest or a bet already placed on Atlanta, man, I don't see this as a lopsided series. They played 3 times during the regular season, and Trae, and actually let me go to my tweaks. I don't want to get this wrong. Milwaukee won 2 out of 3, but the one Atlanta won, Trae Young did not play, and then the 2 that they lost, and I am getting to it. I tweeted it yesterday afternoon. My apologies here. I just don't want to get the stat wrong. Here we go. So when Milwaukee beat Atlanta the first time, Trae and Capella were out, and they beat Atlanta the second time. Gallinari and Collins were out. And then when the Atlanta won, they didn't have Trey. So he missed 2 out of the 3 games. And by the way, for those looking at the total, which I don't have an opinion on in game 1, other than to point out the unders on a 12-2-1 run for Atlanta in its last 15. But the combined scores in the 3 regular season meetings were 244, 229, and 215. But back to the series price, I mean, I just don't see why Milwaukee should be minus 450 to 500 on the series price. And, I would think that people might be a little interested in the Hawks if you can get like plus 375. But then again, go ahead.
I was going to say, let me say, first off, yeah, there's certainly value there in Atlanta. Absolutely. 2, the Hawks have been, the Suns and the Hawks have been the 2 most consistent teams in the NBA playoffs. Now, I'm not saying that means that the Hawks win every game, but you kind of have an idea every night what you're going to get. It doesn't really differ too terribly much. The Bucks, when they're on, they're on. When they're off, they're off. Right. So, I mean, I'm with you. I think that there's value there, in Atlanta. And again, this is going to be a tough series. I could see why people would bet on either team. I wouldn't argue against either. When you're looking at a series, I totally get it. I think that if you look at some areas, the over-under in terms of Hawks wins is probably going to be 2.5. There might be value there in playing the over 2.5, right? Even if they don't win the series, I could see them winning 3 games. Now, real quick in the chat, we've got a couple questions here. Josh Brown asked, have they said if Chris Paul is playing yet or not tonight? He is out. He is not playing tonight in game 2. So that's what you've seen really with the spread, it dropping that much. So, yeah, he is out. But again, like we said, I mean, he didn't play in game 1. The Suns look just fine. But, yeah, I mean, that one's going to be interesting tonight to see, can the Suns really jump up 2-0? But, again, while Chris Paul has a massive, implication on this team, it's not that much. Like they're a good team with or without him, So I think it's fascinating, especially if you take Suns money line. Now, another question, or Zach Goodman here puts in, he's loving the Astros money line today at minus 190. Gets the worst team in baseball with their ace on the mound. Zach, I am glad that you said that, buddy, because that is going to bring us right into our next segment here. Okay. And next segment, what we call 2 for the money. Each of us are going to look at 2 picks, 2 plays that we have going on today, or since it's the playoffs today and tomorrow, if you're playing those. But I'm going to go ahead and go first. And Zach, I'm right there with you. My first play, the Houston Astros against the Baltimore Orioles. And the reason being pretty much exactly what Zach just laid out. You look at Houston, they've won 8 games in a row. The Orioles have lost 11 of its last 12 games. I like the Astros money line. I think that they get the job done. I think they mash once again on Baltimore. Also, my second play is going to be the Suns tonight, minus 4.5 on the spread, and really being what we just really talked about, with these 2 teams. Again, you look at what Phoenix has done. They've won 8 straight. They've covered 8 straight. All 8 of those wins have been by 6 points or more. The Clippers, they haven't won a game 2 in any playoff series this postseason. They've started each one of them 0-2. Not that matters all that much, but I'm just going to ride it because Phoenix has given me 0 reason to hop off. And you know what? If they don't cover tonight, buddy, I might just jump right back on that train again because Phoenix is that good. I like them. But yeah, tonight I'm going to go Suns spread minus 4.5. I'm going to go Astros money line. Zach, I think that you're spot on with that one. So, Brian, I kick it to you, buddy. What do you got today?
Well, before we get to that, I just want to, I see Dom in the comments, and wasn't it Dom that was agreeing with us that Trey for 5 threes at a plus 425 price on Friday, and that was a winner. So nice hit there, Dom. And I see Dustin, a 6-fight parlay Saturday main event screwed him up. My man, I said Korean Zombie, buddy. I guess you went with 50K Ige. Hate that you missed on that one. Okay, so to my pick, and I gave away the Clippers and over earlier. I should have saved one for this segment, but I still have uno mas, and I am going to go with my Hawks tomorrow, plus the 7. And, Brooklyn was without Kyrie from second quarter of game 4 on? Yeah, I think it was game 4 on, and they were without Harden basically the first 4 games, came back in game 5, but went 1 of 10 from the field, and then gutted it out in game 6 or 7. But I just think what the Hawks did, winning 3 times in Philadelphia, was a little more impressive than Milwaukee. You did have to deal with Kevin Durant playing lights out, but he didn't have a whole lot of help. So I think the Hawks, I think they're loosey-goosey, man. Nobody expected them to be here. I don't think they'll play tight at all, just like game one at Philly, game one at the Knicks. I mean, they've been into these raucous environments, and it's been no problemo. So I'm going to go the Hawks +7. And again, I think they'll get a better effort out of Trae Young shooting-wise. I don't think he's going to go 5 for 23 again. I hope he doesn't commit 6 turnovers. And Milwaukee's still, they've kind of got some issues. I know Giannis came up big those last few games, but he's still not exactly getting it done at the free throw line. And I think the Hawks got a great chance here, +7. I'm not against a little bit of +240 on the money line. So that's what I got for tomorrow night.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, especially +7, in a game one. I mean, that's a lot of points. And, when you start to look at spreads that are above 6, 7, et cetera, in the NBA, especially in the playoffs, you really look to that second half of the fourth quarter. And are there opportunities to where, a team can start blowing another out, and then, that other team starts to bench guys? And I don't see either of those boxes checked for Atlanta, right? It's not like there's any reason that they would just bench, an entire starting roster for any means. There's no quit in this team, hasn't been all season. So I'm with you. Even if the Bucks end up winning that game, 7 points is a lot, man. Like I feel you on that. I don't see the Bucks going that crazy, at least in game one. Now, as we jump into our third segment, and look, Zach, again, I like buddy Zach Goodman. He says, I'll give you 3 picks. He likes the Astros, Yankees, and Washington. Here's the deal. We're going to jump into it, what we call, really wagers in the majors, our best baseball bets. First off, what I want to do is just kind of throw out some notes and nuggets that you might want, and just some interesting things that I found to just kind of keep tabs on in terms of some streaks that are going on. You look at the White Sox, 35-6, their last 41 versus left-handed starters. It started to leak a little bit. However, I think if you're playing baseball bets today, I think this is a monster play for you against the Pirates. The White Sox offense has been down as of recently. They were swept, a series previously, but I think that they get things on track. You're going to look at a pretty high money line price, probably 190, somewhere around there. You might look at 1.5 on the run line. I think the White Sox hammered down on the Pirates today. You look at the Mets. They're playing the Braves. The Mets are 75% to the under at home. We saw actually the over hit yesterday. They had a doubleheader. And I think the over-under was 4.5 with DeGrom on the mound. They ended up hitting, I think, 6. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the Mets at home.
Did you say a total was 4.5?
Yeah, it was a 7-inning game.
Okay.
It was a 7-inning game.
That's the lowest total I've ever heard of in my life, ever.
I had to play the over just on principle alone, like seeing a 4.5, and it ended up cashing. But, yeah, I mean, you look at the Mets, 75% to the under at home. It's been a tough place for teams to come in, hit those overs. You look at the Red Sox and Rays today. Again, you've got an over under of 7.5. Now, look at this. The over is hit in 8 of the last 9 between the Red Sox and Rays. And quote me on this, I think the last 11 between these two this year and last year, the home team has won like 9 out of 11, somewhere around there. But if I'm not mistaken, the Red Sox, I believe they've won all 3 this year. Yeah, they're 3-0 this year against the Rays. So take a look with an over-under of 7.5. I know that, when Andrew Kittredge is on the mound for the Rays, they're 2-0 this year. But again, 7.5 over-under. The historicals are there. That might be a play for you to take a look at too. Now, Shohei Ohtani, all right, our boy for the Angels. We saw that he's playing in the home run derby. Your boy has 6 home runs in the span of his last 6 games. Obviously, he didn't hit one in all 6, but he hit 2 in one of them. So your man is on fire. He's pitching tomorrow. I don't know what to expect today out of him. Going up against the Giants. The Giants are a really solid team. This might be an underdog play on the road for them against Los Angeles. But just keep an eye on Shohei Ohtani. The guy's been mashing as of late. And last 2 I've got for you. The Diamondbacks ended up winning last night against the Brewers, but they're 1-17 their last 18, and they've lost 23 straight on the road. Now, they're at home against the Brewers today, but keep an eye on them when they get back on the road. It has just been an absolute disaster for the Diamondbacks this season. Literally, their social media last night tweeted like victory a tweet just for the fact that they actually won a game. It's been that bad for them. So there's just some notes and nuggets. But Zach, I like that you're playing Major League games today. I think there's a lot on the table to make some money on. Now, looking at the College World Series, we've got Tennessee and Texas playing right now. Texas is it's tied 4-4. Top of the fourth, no outs. Tennessee has 2 runners on. After Tennessee being shut out the other night against Virginia, it's nice to see them swinging the bat. Brian, I don't know if you saw last night. Did you catch any of the Vanderbilt game?
I was kind of monitoring it a little bit on Twitter, and I was interested in it because I follow like a lot of the Barstool guys on Twitter, and the Mitzi guy.
That dude is horrible. He is automatic fade. Let me set the stage for you. So Vanderbilt wins their first game in extra innings on Saturday, okay, with Kumar Rocker on the mound. We've talked about him. So last night, they go in, all right, they've got Jack Leiter on the mound, who we've talked about, who is the second best pitcher in the country, who might be the best pitcher in the country. Your man goes out last night against NC State, has 15 strikeouts, was unbelievable. Vanderbilt has 2 hits, loses 1-0.
And the one homer was a solo shot, right?
Yep.
That came when Mitzi was making his video.
He was. I saw that. You're right. Like, that dude is literally, he is the definition of mush. He's horrible. But tough one for Vanderbilt, tough one for Tim Corbin. You got to feel sick because you had every opportunity to be sitting 2-0, almost walking into the College World Series final series. But you know what? Vanderbilt's going to have to battle. They play Stanford tomorrow. The lines are out on that one. Vanderbilt's a -125 money line favorite with a total of 9.5. Again, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Vanderbilt kind of do the same thing that Tennessee's doing right now of getting the bat off your damn shoulder and swinging. Like, yeah, go ahead.
How many innings or pitches do you have any idea on Komar? I mean, he's not ready tomorrow.
No, he won't be ready tomorrow.
Maybe afterward a game or two if they win.
Yeah, if they get past Stanford, they're going to have a little time. And Jack Leiter last night, I think he went for 126. Like, this dude went monster. I mean, he was throwing 96 at a pitch 106. Like, this kid is unbelievable. I was sick for him that he had just a dominant performance, loses 1-0. But I wouldn't be surprised. Vanderbilt bounces back, gets their bats going, wins that one. Now, before we end this one, this segment in terms of baseball, I want to kind of run you through the futures numbers, at least as we sit right now. These things will change as we have 2 games each day. NC State's now your betting favorite to win the College World Series. Obviously, they're 2-0. They're waiting for the winner of the losers bracket, to come through. They're at +200. Mississippi State +275. Virginia +425. Vanderbilt +450. Texas +1,000, Tennessee +1,000, and Stanford +1,100. So that's where we sit right there. But yeah, it's really good baseball nuggets. Let me know what you guys are playing. Seriously, whether you're in the chat on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. Like, let us know what you're playing. Love to see your picks across baseball, whether it be college or Major League Baseball for today. Now, our last segment, what we call Proper Parlay, our most fun segment. I enjoy this every single time. Everybody watching, tuning in the chat, you're part of this game too. You have to play it as well. You guys all know the rules. I'm going to read you 8 options of either props or parlays. You have to choose at least one. You can take as many as you want, but you got to choose at least one. So I'm going to read these out. Everybody, let us know. Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments what you're going to take. Brian, you're going to go first after I read these off. You ready to play?
Yes, sir. I'm ready.
There we go. All right. So here's what we got for tonight. Paul George to record a double-double, +110. Devin Booker to score 40+ points, +350. Reggie Jackson to record 2+ steals, +275. DeAndre Ayton to score 20+ points, +275. Clippers first to score 20 points, +110. Suns to win by 1 to 5 points tonight, margin bet, +400. Giannis to record a triple-double tomorrow night, +750. Trae Young to make 5+ three-pointers tomorrow night, +375. So, Brian, you're up first, buddy. What do you got?
All right, but before I go there, I just since you shared those futures, it made me think of, and I didn't let me get those out for NBA as well. This is coming from Jeff Sherman of the Westgate Superbook in Las Vegas. So the Bucks are 11-10. So what? That's minus 110. The Suns are 7-5. So that's plus 140. And the Hawks are 10-1. The Clippers are 12-1. And the updated series price on the Western Conference Finals is Phoenix minus 400, Clippers plus 330. So I just wanted to throw that out there. All right, I like several of these. Booker just went for 40 plus. So, I mean, he's going to get a lot of shots, with CP3 out. I mean, I could see him doing that again. So I would do that for plus 350. Reggie Jackson, he only had 1 steal in game 1, but in game 6 against Utah, he had 3 steals. Game 5, he had 2 steals, and plus 275 is nice value. So I'll go with the Reggie Jackson for 2+ steals. And then I will go with Trey. We're not getting quite as much value as we had on Friday when I believe it was plus 440 or plus 450, but we're getting same number with 5, making 5 plus 3s, but plus 375 is still a nice little loot, mini ransom, if you will. So there's three for me. I'll go Booker 40 plus, Jackson 2+ steals, and Trey 5+ 3 balls.
Yeah, we've got some really nice options. Like there's some higher payouts tonight and tomorrow than what we're used to. We usually see, kind of in that plus 100 to plus 250 type range. I'm going to ride Devin Booker plus, to score 40 plus points, plus 350, just for a little bit, just because it's fun. And like you said, I mean, he's going to get every opportunity to get there. So I'm going to ride that for just a little bit. Suns to win by 1 to 5 points. I love that. Plus 400. It falls obviously right in with where our spread is. So that's worth a little bit of a play for me as well. And Trae Young, 5+ 3-pointers. You know what? I'm going to ride it too, again, for a small play. It's fun to ride those. I love riding 3 bets, especially with Trae Young. So, and if, Milwaukee's up in the fourth quarter, he's going to get some opportunities on that as well. So, yeah, I'm going to go Book 40 points. I'm going to go Suns 1 to 5, and I'm going to go Trae Young 5+ 3-pointers. So, before we end the show, Brian, kick us your 2 plays, your 2 for Tuesday. Well, 2 for 2 and Wednesday. What do you got?
Okay, I'm going to go with the over, which our friends at BetMGM have 222.5 for tonight's Clippers-Suns game, and that is my my larger bet. I'm going to have the Clippers as well at plus. If you're plus 4.5, I'd probably buy that half point to 5. So Clippers, but a little less than the over, and then Atlanta. I'm going to be on pretty. I mean, not immensely heavy, but I'm on a nice solid play on Atlanta plus 7 tomorrow night. So Hawks tomorrow night, Clippers tonight, and the over tonight for a little more on Clippers Suns.
Nice. I like it. I'm going to go Suns minus 4.5 spread tonight. I'm going to go Astros money line against the Orioles. Now, before we end the show, I just want to, mention one thing. We do have an NHL game tonight. Okay. And if you take a look, we got Canadians at Golden Knights. Series is tied 2-2. It's in Vegas. Look, you're going to get Vegas at a really high money line price. I think last I saw was like minus 235. But take a look at the total, okay? It sits at 5, and there's a reason being. We've had 4 games in this series, okay? Game 1, score ended at 5. Game 2, score ended at 5. Game 3, score ended at 5. Game 4, score ended at 3 in overtime. I might go back and find a prop on exactly 5. They're usually around plus 250, somewhere around there. Just keep an eye on that. They've hit pretty much right at 5, and neither team is hitting on their power plays. Vegas is 0 for 11 on their power plays. The Canadians are 1 for 6. So just keep an eye on that one. It's been a really, really low scoring series. So that's all the time we have for today. For Brian Edwards, I'm Alan Bell. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, let us know what your plays are, especially in proper parlay. We want to see them. And everybody, let's cash some tickets.
Good luck, everybody. Have a good